Many IELTS students have difficulties with IELTS Writing Task 2 because they don't know what they need to do to score highly. But if you know what the examiner is looking for, it's easy to achieve a high score. In this video, I'll give you 10 crucial tips for IELTS Writing Task 2 to improve your band score quickly. If you are going to take your IELTS soon, check out my IELTS materials. There, I teach you everything you need to score high. I will show you step by step how to give high-scoring answers. And of course, we do many practice tests together, so you will feel confident about your test. You can find the link below. And now, let's get started. In IELTS writing, it's super important to plan. Some IELTS candidates start writing as soon as they read the question. This is not a good idea. You need to think of ideas first so that you can write an answer with a good structure. Taking time to plan what you are going to write means the organization of your answer will be better, and as a result, your band score will be higher. Make a few notes about your ideas. Most question types will ask for your opinion on a topic or statement, so it's good to jot down some ideas for both sides of the argument. This does depend on the question type, though, as this isn't always necessary. We'll come back to question types later on, as this is another important point. When planning, you don't need to write full sentences. Just words and phrases are enough. You also don't need to include all of your ideas at the planning stage in your essay. This is a good opportunity to get all your ideas down onto paper, then choose the ones that you feel you can write the most detail about. The way you set out your notes doesn't matter. As long as it is clear to you, that's all that matters. Some candidates draw a mind map, others write bullet points, and some use tables to separate opposing ideas. Experiment with what works best for you. Now, let's check out the question types in IELTS writing. It's really important that you understand what each question type requires, as this will allow you to be able to answer the question properly. And this is crucial for a high band score. You must do what the question asks you to do, because you must show the IELTS examiner that you understand the question. Let's take a quick look at the question types. First, there are agree-disagree questions, which are very common in IELTS writing. In this question type, you'll be asked for your opinion or how much you agree or disagree with a statement. Here, your answer doesn't have to be balanced. It's okay to write about just one side of an argument if that's your opinion, but it's also fine to write about both sides if your opinion sits somewhere in the middle. Next come discussion questions. In this question type, you must write about both sides of an argument, even if you don't agree with one of them. You have to include your own opinion at the end too. If your answer doesn't mention both sides, you will lose marks. There are also questions that ask you to present advantages and disadvantages on a topic. The question often asks you if the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. You should make sure to answer this part too, as well as presenting both the advantages and disadvantages. Problem solution questions are slightly different to the others, as you are asked to present some reasons for some problems and offer solutions to these issues. Direct questions often feature two questions that you should answer, offering your opinion on the topic given. Make sure you answer both. If you only answer one, you will lose marks. Now, let's check out positive or negative development questions. Here, you need to give your opinion about whether something is a positive or negative development or trend. Similar to agree-disagree questions, it's okay if your argument isn't balanced. Finally, mixed questions are quite rare. However, it's important to know how to answer them. They will involve some elements of different question types, like saying whether you agree or disagree with an issue and providing solutions, or perhaps writing about the causes of an issue and whether or not it's a positive or negative development. Next, how should you write your answer? You must separate your ideas into clear paragraphs. There should always be an introduction, at least 2 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. In texts, paragraphs are made up of sentences that have connected ideas. For instance, in IELTS Writing Task 2, if you're writing about advantages and then you want to refer to disadvantages, but then go back to advantages in the following sentence, it will be hard for the IELTS examiner to follow your ideas. Jumping around from one idea to the next in the same paragraph is not a good idea because it makes your ideas unclear and you will lose marks. Grouping ideas together in paragraphs ensures that your organization is logical and allows the examiner to make sense of your ideas. Not only will the examiner be able to understand your answer better, it will also help you to score higher in the area of coherence and cohesion. This refers to whether your writing makes sense and flows well. My next tip is to use topic sentences. Topic sentences are the sentences at the beginning of a paragraph which tell the IELTS examiner information about what the rest of the paragraph will be about. Just by reading your topic sentences alone, the examiner should be able to get an idea of your opinion or argument. The following sentences in the body paragraphs are the ones that go into detail and provide examples. Let's see an example of a good topic sentence. The primary benefit of the construction of new cycle paths is that it encourages people to use their bikes to commute to work or get around the city instead of going by car. It is extremely clear what my idea is. The examiner now knows that in the rest of the paragraph I will write about this, explaining more and giving examples. Let's see another. Secondly, addiction to social media is also due to it being deeply ingrained in today's society. Here, I have given a clear reason for addiction to social media, and now the examiner is aware that the rest of the paragraph will be about this reason. By the way, if you want more IELTS writing tips, hit the like button and write yes in the comments. If you want something else, tell me your video wish in the comments so I know what you would like to see on this channel. Now, let's take a look at 6 more tips that boost your IELTS writing score. Tip number 5 is use linking words and phrases. You won't score high in IELTS Writing Task 2 if you don't use any linking words or phrases. You absolutely need these to give structure to your answer and show the relationship between your ideas. One important thing about linking words is knowing what their function is. For example, is the word used to add a new idea or present a contrasting one? Do you need to give an example or provide an opinion? Although it can be a good idea to learn a couple of linking phrases for each function, it is also important not to overuse the same linking words and phrases in your writing. Linking words are vital, but if you're aiming for a higher band score, you might want to steer clear of single word linkers, or at least use them sparingly, and instead pick longer phrases that showcase your vocabulary better. Let's compare some examples. Overall, it is reasonable to say that schools should impose a mandatory school uniform policy in order to reduce the risk of bullying over appearance and to prepare students for their working lives. If we replace overall with in light of the above discussion, we get a sentence that is much more advanced. The fixed phrase in light of means taking something into consideration, and the above discussion makes a reference to the rest of the essay. Tip number 6 is to use complex sentence structures. One of the areas the examiners give you marks for is grammatical range and accuracy. So the different types of grammatical structures you use are taken into account when calculating your band score. This means that you should use more complex and advanced structures like relative clauses, conditionals, passive voice, and more difficult tenses like perfect and continuous forms. What's the difference between these two sentences? Many people believe that governments should spend more money on public transport. It is widely believed that more government funding should be allocated to public transport systems. Well, they express the same idea. The first sentence is accurate and clear. However, we can see simple grammatical forms, like the verb believe in the present simple in the active voice. In the second sentence, the structures are more advanced. An impersonal passive phrase is used to express general opinion. It is widely believed that. What's more, the passive is also used in the phrase government funding should be allocated. Let's see another comparison. More people use electric cars because they are cheaper to maintain, as well as for their environmental benefit. The increasing use of electric cars, which can be attributed to their lower maintenance costs, reflects a shift towards more sustainable transportation methods. In this case, I have included the additional information about cost in the relative clause, which can be attributed to their lower maintenance costs. It is also separated by commas either side. While the first sentence is good and presents a clear idea, the second will boost your band score due to the structure used. Another hugely important tip is to paraphrase. This means that you should find other words, phrases, and structures to express the same thing. This is essential for two reasons. First, it reduces repetition in your essay. Second, it allows you to use a range of grammar and vocabulary in your writing, which will boost your band score. It's wise to paraphrase as much as possible, starting with your introduction. Here, you can immediately show the examiner that you have a wide range of vocabulary by paraphrasing the words from the question or statement. Let's have a look at an example of that. Imagine we have the following question. More and more students are opting to study abroad for higher education. Is this a positive or negative development? In our very first sentence, we can paraphrase. Perhaps I write, an increasing number of young people are choosing to do their university degree in other countries, as opposed to studying in their home country. Here I have changed the verb opting to choosing. These are synonyms. Also, I have changed more and more to the phrase an increasing number of. Abroad becomes in other countries, and study higher education turns into do university degree. Although it's not necessary to paraphrase every single part of the question or statement, it's advisable to paraphrase as much as you can. This clearly shows the examiner that you have understood the words in the statement and that you know lots more words to express the same idea. Collocations are words that are frequently used together in language. By learning and using collocations in your writing, you can make it sound more natural and consequently more advanced. Take the word problem, for example. This word will come up a lot in IELTS Writing Task too, as there is often a statement about a problem such as this one. Online learning will soon replace traditional classroom teaching. I might want to refer to online learning taking over classroom teaching as a problem, but perhaps I want to describe it or say what we should do in response to it. There are lots of words that are commonly used with the word problem, like a huge problem, a growing problem, a pressing problem. I can also use a multitude of verbs with the word problem too. For instance, we tend to say address a problem or face a problem. These are all examples of collocations and can really help to increase your lexical resource band score. This is the section of the scoring scheme that refers to the range and accuracy of vocabulary. In the writing exam, you only have 60 minutes to complete both tasks. Because task 2 is longer and worth more marks than task 1, it is advised to spend around 40 minutes on it. It can be tricky to get your timing right. Remember that you need to read and understand the question. Then plan your writing, write your essay, then check over it. 40 minutes go by very quickly. It's a really good idea that you practice writing essays within this time limit, so you know what it feels like and become comfortable with getting everything finished in time. The other thing to be aware of is that if you're doing the IELTS exam on paper, your hand might get tired after writing for a while. It's smart to practice writing by hand much more often, so you get used to this and don't have to waste any time taking quick breaks, waiting for the cramp in your hand to go away. My final tip is to proofread your essay and check the word count. I know that the first thing you want to do is put your pen down and relax, but don't stop just yet. Proofreading gives you a great opportunity to increase your score by correcting mistakes. Additionally, check that you have written enough words. It should be at least 250 words. That's it! that's 10 tips to improve your IELTS Writing Task 2 score fast. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their IELTS score too. See you in the next video!